I never thought I'd be the one to stumble onto something like this. My name's Jake, and I work at a tiny radio station in the middle of nowhere called WZRT, the voice of the valley. Most days, it's just classic rock and local ads. But every Friday night, I host Midnight Tales, a call-in show where people share ghost stories and urban legends. It's nothing fancy, just a little late-night entertainment for the few night owls in the area. Last Friday, everything changed. It started with a call from a man who refused to give his name. His voice was rough, like he hadn't spoken in years. But there was something else, something off. It wasn't just hoarse. It sounded layered, like multiple voices trapped in one throat. The line crackled with static that shouldn't have been possible on our digital system. "I need to tell you about the last broadcast," he said, each word dripping with a wet, clicking sound, like a tongue peeling away from a dry mouth. I figured it was just another creepy story, so I put him on air. The moment I did, the studio lights flickered once. I told myself it was just the old wiring acting up. "Back in 1987, he began. "This station wasn't WZRT, it was WXLR, and they had a late-night show too. The host, a guy named Martin Voss, went live one night and never signed off. The police found the studio empty, microphone still on, coffee still warm. But Martin, gone, vanished. And if you listen close, sometimes you can still hear him." As he spoke, the temperature in the booth dropped sharply. My breath fogged in front of me, even though the thermostat read a steady 72 degrees. The caller's voice grew more distorted with every sentence. "They say he's still broadcasting. Not here, somewhere else. And he's always looking for new voices to join him." I laughed it off, thanked him, and moved on to the next caller. But as I was wrapping up the show, I noticed something strange. The old reel-to-reel player in the corner, the one we never use, was running, and it wasn't empty. The machine was ancient, covered in dust. No one had touched it in years. Yet the reels turned smoothly, silently, as if they'd been oiled recently. A fresh, unmarked tape stretched between them. Curious, I hit play. Static hissed, then a voice cut through. "This is Martin Voss, signing on for the midnight hour." My blood ran cold. It was the same voice from the call. The recording continued. "If you're hearing this, you're next. They don't let us stop. The broadcast never ends." Then, beneath his words, I heard something else. Whispers, dozens of them, overlapping. Names, dates, locations, like a list of every host who'd ever sat in this chair. Daniel Carter, 1992. Lisa Nguyen, 2004. Michael Reeves, 2011. I recognized some of those names. Former WZRT employees, people who'd quit abruptly, no notice, just vanished from town. The whispers grew louder, more frantic. The reel-to-reel started spinning faster, the tape whining as it stretched. The voices weren't just coming from the speakers anymore. They filled the room, coming from the walls, the ceiling, even my own headphones. I yanked the plug. The reel kept spinning. That's when I saw it. The studio door was open. I always lock it, always. And in the hallway, just beyond the light, something moved. Not a shadow, not a person. Something wrong. It was tall, too tall. Its limbs bent at impossible angles. The light didn't touch it right. Where it should have cast a shadow, there was only a smear of darkness, like a stain on reality. It didn't walk. It unfolded, joints popping audibly as it lurched forward. I could smell it then. Ozone and something rotten, like old meat left in a damp basement. I grabbed my keys and ran. The hallway stretched. I know it sounds crazy, but 1 second I was at the studio door. The next, I was sprinting down a corridor that went on far longer than the building allowed. The exit sign at the end never got closer. Behind me, the thing made a sound. Not a growl, not a scream, but the exact pitch of a radio tuning between stations. A scream translated into static. I don't know how I got out. One moment I was trapped. The next, I burst through the front doors into the parking lot. My car started on the first try, small miracle, and I peeled out of there. Now I'm sitting in my car, typing this. My phone won't stop ringing. The caller ID says WZRT. I know I didn't leave anything on air. The station's closed, but the radio just turned on by itself. And through the static, Martin's voice whispers, "You're live in 5."